Is Pakistan headed for military rule once again? Is a coup on the cards? Haven't Pakistanis had enough of generals who become dictators? Field Marshal Ayub Khan, Yahya Khan, who unleashed havoc and massacres on Bangladesh. General Zia-ul Haq, who drove his country towards extreme Islamism. General Pervez Musharraf, who left Pakistan in complete shambles. But as Pakistan's economic crisis spirals out of control and prices soar to unbelievable heights, as the treasury heads towards bankruptcy, as civilian politicians stare at one another for the rewards of office at the expense of the country's people, as the government and the judiciary pass daily orders against each other almost, and as the army chief looks quietly at the gathering storm, saying nothing, perhaps biding his time, voices are being raised to say that once again Pakistan seems to have no other option if it wants stability. A question that was earlier only a part of dinner table conversations is being asked by the country's own leaders. I am talking about the country's former Prime Minister, Shahid Khaqan Abbasi. He has warned that the current crisis in the country is enough to lead to a military takeover. In fact, according to him, martial law remains a possibility and all stakeholders need to address the political crisis soon. Not just that, Abbasi also said that martial law has always remained a possibility in case of a system failure. Martial law was imposed in Pakistan whenever there was conflict between institutions like the judiciary and the political leadership and there was no way forward. Now here's the thing, Pakistan had been directly ruled for about half of its history by military generals. But even when the military generals are not in power on paper, they continue to call the shots. According to the former Prime Minister, Pakistan has had many long periods of martial law in very similar situation. He goes on to say that Pakistan has never witnessed such a severe economic and political situation before, and that the military has taken over in much less severe circumstances. Does that sound worrying? What does the Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif have to say? Is the army going to snatch away his authority, if he has any at all, that is? And what do his ministers have to say? Well, let me tell you that this is not the first time the possibility of a military takeover has been raised. Far from it. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto talking about the imposition of an emergency. Bilawal is the son of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto and grandson of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who was hanged by an army despot, Zia-ul Haq, in what was called a judicial murder. Benazir was sent into exile by General Zia and returned to office through an election only after General Zia died in a mysterious air crash. Benazir herself was assassinated when General Musharraf was in power. And despite such a tragic personal history, Bilawal Bhutto is talking of an emergency which can only be realistically imposed by army rule. You know that the crisis has gone out of control. Just 3 weeks ago, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, Pakistan's foreign minister, said that if the current crisis persists, Pakistan may face an emergency-like situation. He also added that he is apprehensive about the imposition of martial law in the country. Basically, he was worried that the political crisis in the country will spiral out of control. You see, this time, what Pakistan is going through is unprecedented. Its economy is bleeding, people are starving, the level of desperation and despair on the ground has reached a point of no return. To the extent that people are dying in stampedes while trying to get wheat during the distribution of food aid. Over 20 people have lost their lives in such stampedes over food in recent days. So it's either dying because of starvation or dying while fighting against starvation. Such is the sad state of affairs in the country. Food inflation is at a record high of 47%. Last month, inflation in Pakistan touched a nearly 60-year high, 60. The rate of year-on-year inflation hit 35.37% in March. This was the most expensive Ramzan for some people, and the country saw muted celebrations and festivities. And the political chaos in the country is only getting worse. Let me tell you about what another former leader of the country is up to. I'm talking about Imran Khan. He has launched his election campaign in Punjab. Now, in any other part of the world, elections follow a due process, but this is Pakistan and Imran Khan we are talking about. He has launched the election campaign in Punjab without any clarity regarding the date of the polls, saying that the ruling establishment might not be ready for the election, but he definitely is. There is uncertainty regarding the elections in Punjab. It is the country's most populous province. It sends nearly 150 lawmakers to the National Assembly. Meanwhile, the Election Commission of Pakistan is waiting for funds from the federal government to carry out that election. The Defense Ministry, meanwhile, telling the Election Commission that the Pakistan Army will not be available for providing security. The cash-strapped government has not authorized funds to meet the expenses, and this is amid the economic crisis. Imran Khan has already been training his guns on the country's establishment, saying that they have no idea how to get out of this economic mess. He's been targeting the government over this. Well, he is not wrong about that. The country's Prime Minister already has talked about the embarrassment faced by the country when it has to go around the world with a begging bowl. But Imran Khan, you see, was not able to solve the economic puzzle himself either when he was in power. The vested interests of those who want to cling on to power have cost the country and its people dearly. If you have a better definition of political chaos, let me know. And let me leave you with one more thought. And it's not outside the realm of possibility, given the deep endemic hatred that has now become synonymous with Pakistan's politics. Would Shehbaz Sharif prefer to hand over power to the army than to Imran Khan? You see, their hatred for each other is well known, and they would happily use power to destroy the other. Could this be the first time that Pakistan would see what might be called a friendly coup, in which the Sharifs walk away and take a flight to their safe havens in London, leaving Pakistan in the hands of the army chief? In the Pakistan of 2023, anything is possible. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.